One of my mentors, Dan Kennedy, brilliant marketing guy, one of the greatest copywriters of all time. Dan Kennedy says the difference between a salesman and an expert is the salesman hands you his brochure. The expert, Eric, hands you his book. Something I like to say is imagine the satisfaction you'll feel when you drop your 2-pound business card on a prospect's desk. So a book takes you from a sales guy to an expert, to an authority. Has your competitor written a book? No.
Welcome to the Rockstars Rocking podcast, powered by Voluntary Disruption, a show dedicated to people who are crushing their business and life goals. These are bite-sized conversations with leading rock stars in their respective industry who are pumped to share their story to help drive you to the next level. So, are you ready to rock? Speaking of rock stars, here's your host, Eric Silverman.
Hey, rock stars, welcome back to another episode of Rockstars Rocking. And boy, do I have a rock star. In fact, the rock star of all rock stars. And yeah, if you listen to the show, you know that I say that about all the rock stars because I think you're all incredible. Everybody, please help me welcome my good friend and mastermind partner. We'll talk about that, Mr. Nelson Griswold, who is the chairman of the Next Gen Benefits Network out of the greater Nashville, Tennessee area. But this guy is national, my friends, national. What's up, Nelson?
Eric, great to see you, brother. This is going to be fun.
Absolutely. I can't wait. I'm so pumped to have you. I know we've been going back and forth on schedule for quite a while. For those of you that are not familiar with Nelson, Nelson does a lot of stuff, but we're going to get all into it. Don't you worry. But one of the first things that I want to talk about is how Nelson is a best-selling author and really the superhero cheerleader behind a bunch of collaborative books that he's been able to get everybody in his group involved with over the last many years. But it all started with one major book that he and his colleague wrote years ago, back when the ACA, Affordable Care Act, in the insurance world started. The name of the book is Do or Die, Reinventing Your Benefits Agency for Post-Reform Success. He followed that bestseller up with this book is kind of near and dear to me. That's because I'm on the cover. I'm part of this collaborative effort called Breaking Through the Status Quo, how innovative companies are changing the benefits game to help their employees and boost their bottom line. And then he followed that best-selling book up with an incredible book called Next Generation Healthcare, Proven Secrets of Managing the Healthcare Value Chain to Improve Outcomes and Reduce Costs. He actually, I don't even have it in my hand, and I don't know what I did with it, but he actually had a book that started before all this, and he's got another one coming out soon. Nelson, let's talk about the power of books when it comes to marketing. Let's not get into the insurance aspect yet because, we're in the insurance business, but I don't want to bore everybody that quickly. But let's just talk about the books and the power of books when it comes to marketing. What's your take on that? Because you've written a bunch of books.
Well, let's talk about the power of marketing. Let's talk about the role of marketing.
Sure.
First of all, marketing, and I'm preaching to you. When I'm preaching to you, I'm preaching to the choir. Marketing is the first step in the sales process. It's not hard to understand. And the whole idea behind marketing is if you are in sales, you have a group of people out there who are largely suspects. Are they a prospect for you? Could they become a client? You don't know. They're suspects. Well, when you start narrowing it down and you find out, wait a second, no, these guys could really use what I sell, what I do, then they become prospects. But even if you're calling them and you know they have a need, they're a cold prospect. And there's nothing worse than calling a cold prospect. But if you can market to them and get them to raise their hand, metaphorically speaking, by downloading one of your ebooks, or downloading an infographic, or signing up for one of your webinars, or et cetera, et cetera. If they will interact with you, they start by opening your emails, they start by reading your posts, then they become a warm prospect because they're waving their hands saying, I'm intrigued. I'd like to know more of what you do. They're not saying I'm ready to buy. They're not saying, oh, yeah, sign me up. But they are saying, you've got my interest. And now that's a conversation you can have, because this is where sales comes in, Eric. The warm prospect converted to a client, that's the sales process. Is where does the sales guy come in? The warm prospect, ideally. If you've ever seen the amazing, fabulous movie, Glengarry Glen Ross, they talk about the leads. We generate these leads for you as salespeople. You know, benefits and insurance is like the only industry I know of that doesn't market and generate leads for their sales guys. Now, the sales guys in our industry expect to go out and generate their own leads, chase them down, close them. But marketing generates warm leads. Okay, so you need to market. In fact, you can be the best at whatever it is you do. You can be the best lawyer, the best doctor. You can be the best consultant, advisor. You've got the best product. But if you don't market it, you'll probably not sell a lot of it. And if you're an attorney, best litigator in town, but you don't know how to market, you're going to be sitting there behind your desk waiting for the phone to ring, and it won't. Books. One of my mentors, Dan Kennedy, brilliant marketing guy, one of the greatest copywriters of all time. Dan Kennedy says the difference between a salesman and an expert is the salesman hands you his brochure. The expert, Eric, hands you his book. Something I like to say is, imagine the satisfaction you'll feel when you drop your 2-pound business card on a prospect's desk. So a book takes you from a sales guy to an expert, to an authority. Has your competitor written a book? No. And as someone who's written a book, Eric, I can remember back to when we debuted, we launched Do or Die in October of 2012 in Scottsdale, Arizona, at the Workplace Benefits Conference. One of the EBA conferences. I forget which one. It might have been their big EBN EBA conference. And I remember standing behind we had a booth there. EBA had given me a booth. I'm one of their columnists, and they were excited about the book. So they gave me a booth, and I've got books there. I'm giving away books, and people are asking, would you sign my book? Like, seriously? You want me to? Why? No. You're an author. They've not met many authors, if they've ever met an author, Eric. And so it elevates you. Not just, oh, the guy that wrote the book, but this guy knows what he's talking about. So I'm going to ask you to speak to that, because you're the author of a best-selling book. You've got your picture on the cover, you got your name on the cover. What is writing a book? Now, admittedly, you wrote a chapter in a book. It was a collaborative book. Do or Die was my book, but Breaking the Status Quo, Next Generation Healthcare, both what we call collaborative books. So I wrote the lead chapter, and then all of our clients wrote a chapter. What is being the author of Breaking the Status Quo done for you?
Well, I tell you what, what I've seen in multiple industries, and I'm sure you've seen it as well, is collaborative book writing has become more and more the trend over the last many years. And I didn't know it was such a thing. I didn't know it was a thing at all until you had the idea and brought it to all the folks in the group. And it's very normal nowadays. I mean, it's ultimately, time is so precious, and that's always been the case, but I kind of feel like people are just busier than ever, regardless of the pandemic. And, the whole idea of writing a book by yourself is a daunting task for most people. So for whether it's two or three or four collaborators, or whether it's 10 or 20 or 30, it just makes it easier. A bunch of hands make the lift a lot easier, if that makes sense. So from my perspective, it's opened up a lot of doors, but really what it's done is it's just put that stamp on the authority figure that I've always looked to be when it comes to marketing. You're right, man. I mean, I've given away hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of the book, and there's not a single one where somebody isn't saying, "Hey, I need your autograph." Somebody once told me as well, it might have been you, that said it's bad luck to give away your book without signing it and putting a little note on it. So no, I can't stress how powerful it is. If I tried. Let me ask you a question, because these things from a marketing perspective go hand in hand. So you write a book as again a marketing piece. No disrespect to us as book authors, but you didn't write a book. We didn't write books to get rich off of a book. We're not selling it at Barnes and Noble for $30 a copy and making a lot of profit and selling billions of copies. We're not. That's not the reason or the rationale. The rationale for the book is, again, as you said, to be an expert, to be an authority. So to go hand in hand with that, talk to me about your impression and feelings about public speaking and getting up on stage as I would even say a billboard, for lack of a better term, with respect to preaching your message and whatever it is. Because I have a lot of listeners that aren't in the insurance employee benefits industry, but the book information you just said, and hopefully what you talk about when it comes to public speaking, applies to all industries.
Oh gosh, public speaking. The real value of a book, Eric, in marketing, is to get you on the stage, to get you in front of people. It is your authority and credibility that convinces someone who has an audience to put you in front of their audience. So let me mention a concept that you're very familiar with. Most people, I don't think, understand the power of this. One too many. One too many. So if you're in sales or you're in any sort of persuasive field, maybe you're not trying to sell anything more than an idea. Maybe you're looking to, you could be a minister. You could be an evangelist for your faith. Are you better off going 1 to 1 to 1 to 1? Or are you better off getting 100 people in a room to listen to you present? Now, the thing about speaking, and you know this very well because you've done a lot of it, is you aren't asked to go up and do a commercial for your business or an advertisement for how great you are or how great your business or your product is. People want to learn something. They want information. What they really want are 2 or 3 actionable nuggets that they can walk away with and implement in their life.
Sure.
In their business, in their personal life, in their weight loss efforts, whatever it is, they're looking for some kernels of truth and ideas that they can act on. But the point is, if you can get in front of 10 people, that's the equivalent, actually, it's more than the equivalent, of going to 10 houses and talking to 10 prospects, or going to 10 offices and talking to 10 prospects, or getting on the phone with 10 people. Eric, why is it better to be a speaker in front of 10 people than to make 100 calls or have 100 conversations or 100 one-on-one meetings? One time speaking to 10 people. Why is that better?
Well, to me, it's leverage, my friend. It's leveraging your time. It all boils down to leverage, in my opinion.
Oh, you're absolutely right. It also, though, comes with authority.
Well, for sure.
But look, we have the microphones. That gives us authority. So you're standing at the front of the room with a microphone. Everyone's looking at you, and somebody has endorsed you. So let's say you're speaking at the Rotary Club, or you're speaking at the Women's Business Group. Somebody had to say, Eric Silverman, Nelson Griswold, has something important to say, and you should listen. That's why we're putting him in front of you and giving him a microphone. So it's the authority and the credibility. Whereas you're knocking on somebody's door, you're a freaking salesperson. You're dime a dozen. Now, you may not be a dime a dozen. Eric, you're certainly not. You're exceptional. What you know and what you can do and how you can help people with the things that you do, you're exceptional. But they don't know that, because if you're knocking on their door, you look like every other sales guy and gal that knocks on their door. But if you're standing at the front of the room with a microphone, you are special. They only see one of them maybe once a week. If they go to Rotary every week, they see one person once a week, and most of them aren't very good. So
Yeah.
if you have a good presentation, you're even better. If you don't bore them, you're even better. But
Yeah.
that's the power of speaking.
So, it's interesting, because I've always believed in public speaking, and I'm certainly not a shy person. I've spoken throughout my my entire career, back to my my former carrier days. As you know, I'm a recovering carrier rep, and I've always enjoyed public speaking. And what I found is, by me personally, and this even dates back to before I met you, I read your columns, your magazine monthly columns, and I started writing my own monthly periodicals that went up online. And by writing and writing, and then did I mention writing and more writing, that led to more opportunity and more action proactively on the part of potential clients and customers coming to me and asking me my opinion, just simply based on the writing that they read that I had put out. And you couple in the book, and the speaking opportunities became more and more prevalent, and frankly, they weren't even things I had to go after. They were things that a lot of times got dropped in my lap, where people reached out to me, which trust me, I'm not complaining, and I know you've seen it the same way. So to me, if you want to, I would tell anybody, I know you'd agree, if you want to get out on a speaking circuit of some sort, or even if you just want to speak once or twice a year, having some type of book or some published articles, it doesn't have to be anything fancy. That certainly adds a million times more credibility to you, to have the ability to go out and book yourself a speaking gig. And even if it's not a paid speaking gig, and frankly, most of mine were not paid in the beginning, but now more than ever, they're becoming more and more paid. And it's really because of the brand that I've been able to create. And I credit you for all of it with respect to the learning and the advising. And I want to talk about that, because getting into more of the grit of what you do as a career, as a consultant, talk about coaching. You head up the Next Gen Mastermind Partnership, which is full of innovative healthcare, health insurance, employee benefit experts, typically, usually always business owners, agency owners, firm owners, and their producers. But from a coaching perspective, why is it important for somebody to invest in hiring a coach? Again, same thing, regardless of industry, I think the advice you're going to give is going to be applicable across all industry.
Let me throw some names out there. They're a little dated, but the point should be made. Tiger Woods, Alex Rodriguez, trying to think other major baseball. You name a big name baseball player, they have.
Tom Brady.
All of them have of course they have a coach of the team. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about a personal, generally. Here's the thing, the most advanced, the most successful athletes, let's just talk about athletes for a second, don't have one coach, a personal coach. They have a skills coach. So Tiger Woods has today even has someone who is helping him correct his swing or make adjustments in his the way he's moving his hips, right? Fine, nuanced improvements to his game. But he and I can give you I can give you a list if I had time to pull it together of these athletes who also have, that's a skills coach. They also have a mindset coach,
Right.
that helps them get their head out of the game. There's that old expression, get your head in the game. No. They want their head out of the game. They want their muscle memory doing its job, swinging the club, swinging the bat, so that they can do what they've been trained to do. All right. So those are athletes. The best athletes all have personal skills coaches, mindset coaches. The most successful business people have multiple mentors and paid coaches, mentors, non-paid, paid coaches, where these are performance coaches, these are mindset coaches. I've got three paid coaches. Three. Mm-hmm. They do different things for me. I've got a performance coach who's she's a specialist in hypnosis. So she puts me into hypnosis and helps me deal with blockage, things that I want to do that I'm having trouble getting done. I've got a business coach who basically unlocks similar thing, but he doesn't use hypnosis. Basically, it's just common sense. And then I've got another business coach who helps me with sort of big picture issues. And I'm in 3 mastermind groups. Mm-hmm. Because it's important. There's a great expression, Eric. I'm pretty sure you've heard it before. Your best thinking got you here. Congratulations. For you and me, that's a pretty rarefied level of achievement. But I want to go higher. You want to go higher. So how do we go higher than where our best thinking got us? We borrow other people's best thinking, right? What am I not seeing? What am I seeing wrong? And so you bring in someone to help you. You bring in another set of eyes. You bring in another mindset. You bring in another perspective. By the way, this is where diversity, I don't want to get off on a DEI conversation, but this is where diversity comes in. It's like someone who has been through, who has grown up African-American, grown up Black, is going to have a different experience than I've had. And therefore it's going to bring different perspective to issues and can help me see things differently. So this is not just it has to do women, right? I've worked so hard, Eric, to get women into our mastermind group. There are not that many women agency owners. I've worked so hard to find them because, as you know, Allison DePauli, Stephanie Pigeon, Marcy Heath, they all bring a different perspective to our business. And sure. The same again with people of color, right? They bring a different life experience and a different mindset. So the reason to have a coach is you need to invest in yourself. People don't invest in themselves. They figure whatever they learned in college and their first job, they're done. It's all I need to know. And I know you constantly talking to people, reading, listening, watching videos, learning what you don't know. And what we don't know is manifold. It's right. I fill a thimble with everything I know, sure, compared to what I don't know. So coaches help you understand things you don't know, open your eyes, give you different perspective, and sometimes make introductions. That's what a lot of what I do. How many introductions have I made? People accuse me, Eric, of stirring the drink. And I just step back and I just see what happens. Eric, meet Tom. Tom, meet Eric. You do this all the time, introducing people.
Right.
You just need to know each other. Do I know something will come out of it? Of course not. But how often does something good come out of it? If nothing else, you've made a new friend. So that's the value of coaches. Coaches are the paid advice and expertise and different perspective that you're getting, but you can get it from mentors. But mentors are hit or miss. You go find a good coach, you can hire them, and they're a good coach, and you're in charge of that decision. It's not hoping your mentor, your potential mentor, will want to be a mentor. Right? Coaches is under your control.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about how even a good coach can, a lot of times, I like what you said about stir the drink and introduce you and so forth. Everybody knows the old time adage. In fact, this is the only expression I had heard of before I met you. It's not who you know, but it's what you know. That's what I used to say. That's what I would always hear, right? And I met Nelson, and Nelson said, no, Eric, no. I mean, there's some truth to that for sure. Not who you know, but what you know. But it's not who you know, and it's also not what you know. It's who knows you. And I never heard it phrased like that until I met you, and I really like that. And it's interesting because and I want to get into specifically some of the things that you actually do for insurance, employee benefit professionals. But the reality is, too many people, I feel like, how do I say it? I mean, I'll just say it. A lot of folks go to college, they invest in themselves, their parents, themselves, financial aid, student loans, they buy college. Let's just call a spade a spade. They buy themselves a degree. They work for it, don't get me wrong, but they invest to buy themselves a degree. And as you said, they get out of college or they get out of school, and then they stop investing in themselves, whether it be a personal trainer at the gym or a personal coach. And when it comes to the Next Gen Benefits Mastermind Partnership and the network that you own and run, we're talking about people that actually spend real money every month to invest in themselves, to be part of something bigger than themselves, to grow themselves in a master's level course, I would call it, a PhD, if you will, in employee benefits and marketing and sales and growing their agencies and practices. My question for you as we lead into this, as we wrap up this podcast today over the next many minutes, what's an avatar client, advisor client, healthcare benefit agency owner client look like in your opinion? What's it look like? Because there are so many, sadly, and I say sadly because I mean it, there are thousands of advisors out there, even owners, who are not an avatar for you, in my opinion, because they're always just looking for the free, quick advice. I call them ask-holes. I didn't say what you think I said. I said ask-holes. They ask 5 million questions, and they never really, they never do anything with the answers and advice you give them, even the free advice. So what's an avatar client look like for Nelson Griswold?
So that's it's not that's a great question, Eric. It's a great question because my understanding of that has evolved over time. So I used to think that I would see or meet a really sharp benefits broker. I think, oh, he needs to be in the mastermind group. And I quickly learned, no, he does not. More to the point, he wouldn't be in the mastermind group. But then again, I wouldn't want him in mastermind, even though he's sharp and he's professional and I like him. So let me give you a quick sort of a checklist of who, I mean, look, you can go look in the mirror and get a lot of the characteristics. They need first and foremost to care primarily about their clients. You say, oh, well, isn't that everybody? No, sadly, that is not everybody. There are a lot of benefit brokers out there who are, I'm first. I'm first. Feed me. How much do I make? What's the commission? Right? What's in it for me? That's not who I'm looking for. I'm looking for somebody who truly, first and foremost, wants to take care of their client. They want to bring value. They want to save their client money. They want to give the employees at that company better health care, better benefits at lower cost for the employees. So client first, themselves second. Do they want to get paid? Of course they want to get paid, but they want to, I call it, they want to do well by doing good. Right? I'll do good, and then I hope I get rewarded for it. So that's one. Two, they're good at what they do. They are very good. They're knowledgeable. They work hard to learn what they need to know to help their clients. The problem is the system, the insurance companies have removed their ability to help their system, help their clients, Eric. They really can't lower costs, but other than shifting costs to the employees, which goes against their very principle. I want to help the employees, not burden them with more cost.
Sure.
The insurance company won't let you really do anything with the plan design because Obamacare has sort of frozen the plan design, and the insurance companies have no interest in letting you do anything to control the cost of healthcare. So they're frustrated. They can't help their clients. They're frustrated with the system. They're angry at the system. And conversely, and this is another checklist, they're not having fun anymore. It used to be a great industry. It used to be a fun job. I get to go bring healthcare benefits and other benefits to these employees, and I get paid well to do it. Now, they're not able to do much for the employee and the employer, and they're not getting paid as much either, by the way. Obamacare forced the insurance companies to cut back on compensation, and there's more work involved, mostly compliance type work around Obamacare. And so they're not having fun. So I'm looking for someone who wants to do the right thing, can't do the right thing, is frustrated about bringing rate increases every year for, at best, the same plan, and sadly, often for a lesser plan. Pay more, get less, and they're not having fun because we show them how to flip that script.
Sure.
Actually, how to help your clients in ways that no other brokers are doing, to make more money doing it, because you should, because you're doing a better job. You're actually saving the employer money, and you're reducing the out-of-pocket for the employee, sometimes eliminating deductibles and co-insurance. No out-of-pocket for the employee. Healthcare is free. They pay their insurance premium every month. Healthcare is free.
Right.
Better healthcare for the employees because we're going to going to the best doctors, best hospitals, and the employer is paying less, so it's sustainable. And the advisor gets paid more because they're doing a better job and they're having fun again. That's flipping the script for employee benefit advisors. So I got to have that avatar. One other thing, Eric, I didn't mention this. They have to be collaborative. We're going back to the collaboration in the book. We're going back to let's work together. We have a saying in the mastermind, no one of us is as smart as all of us. And so we're crowdsourcing knowledge, we're crowdsourcing ideas and solutions, and we're crowdsourcing success for individual members of the mastermind. But it takes that avatar to fit in and want to be a part of that, and then contribute to make that process work, where the collaboration truly is a productive and fun experience for everybody.
So one of the things that I enjoy that I've seen firsthand over the years, and I met you in person for the first time in 2016 at your first Ascend conference. And I want to talk about Ascend if you got another couple minutes, but
Sure.
But one of the things that I've noticed being part of the actual group is everybody's mentality of abundance over scarcity. And again, it goes back to that collaborative effort, but there are so many, I can't think of a single partner, advisor, friend, colleague, a client, even some of them of ours, of mine, that have a scarcity mentality. Everybody's abundance driven. So there's plenty of business and opportunity out there, and nobody is fearful of losing or not being able to grow because of a quote unquote competitor. So I really respect and appreciate our colleagues because of that, and certainly you for putting that type of group together. So I would say that's part of the avatar as well. You spoke earlier about going higher and getting better and personal and in getting, and just rising to the occasion. So speaking of going higher, let's talk about your Ascend conference. Every year for the last, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and even 21 earlier this year, during a pandemic of all things, you've never failed to put on an Ascend conference. Can you talk about Ascend and also the upcoming Ascend that is in January of 2022? And guys, if you're not familiar with Ascend, even if you're not in the industry, Nelson really spares no expense. He gathers up hundreds of the most brilliant minds in the insurance employee benefits industry, and they meet in person, not earlier this year, but typically, and coming up, we're going to meet in person. And in years past, he's had, just a couple of years ago, he had Damon John, the CEO of Fubu and Shark Tank extraordinaire, deliver the keynote at Ascend. This past year, he had Molly Bloom, best-selling author, and you might have seen the movie Molly's Game. That was they took her book, and she's an Olympic athlete and made it a movie. So he's always going above and beyond. So in our last few minutes, Nelson, can you talk about this year's upcoming Ascend and why an advisor or agency owner or producer should consider attending?
Well, so Ascend is the most unique, most unusual, most interactive conference in our industry. It's actually one of the most unique conferences anywhere that I've attended, and I've been in other industries and I've been to other industry conferences. Ascend is about one thing primarily: having meaningful conversations, Eric. In our industry, you don't do that much. Every broker is an island, right? They say that the loneliest job is that of a CEO, because as a CEO, who do you talk to? You can't really talk to your employees, even your vice presidents, because they all work for you. You can talk to your spouse, but they don't understand your business. CEO is a lonely business, but you can talk to peers, but not in our industry, because it's a zero-sum game. You win an account, somebody loses an account. So nobody wants to talk to each other in our industry. We break that wall down, in part by putting people in rooms without direct competitors. So we're bringing people from around the country, so you can talk to folks who aren't in your market. But these meaningful conversations, Eric, are with not just your peers, but also with the solution providers, the subject matter experts who have the solutions that are helping companies lower their healthcare costs and improve the quality of healthcare for the employees. And it's conversations with our speakers, subject matter experts in their areas. So we really push people to have conversations. So we have roundtable discussions that we facilitate. We call them mastermind sessions after our mastermind group. We have expert roundtables where you sit down with a subject matter expert for 10 minutes, and the bell rings, you move the next speed dating with subject matter experts. Ascend is so unique because we want you to interact. We want you to participate. It's not just, oh, go sit down, listen to the speaker, take notes, we don't care, and then get up and go to the next room and listen to another speaker and take notes, we don't care, right? It's not that. It's much more interaction. We also do guided tours, as you know, guided tours of the exhibit hall, because we want you to understand what the solutions are in that room. You know, they're not there to sell you something. They have solutions to make your business more profitable, make your client's business more profitable. But how do you know who you need to work with? Who should you take back own with you to your market to share with your clients or to make your own business more profitable? I don't know. And neither do you until you have that meaningful conversation. So we're all about engaging you with the people at Ascend so that you can leave not just with more knowledge, but with more contacts, a national network of other advisors who are working hard to do what you're wanting to do, which is improve the quality of healthcare for your clients, reduce the cost for your clients, and grow your business, but doing it the right way by helping your clients and going back home, not just with knowledge and new relationships, but also new solutions that make you better than you were when you came to Ascend. So I know that's a lot to unpack, Eric, and I'll put a link into the chat for Ascend. Our theme this year is superheroes, and the idea behind that is when you're a next gen advisor, a next gen benefits advisor, you're able to do things brokers can't do, which is increase the quality of care, eliminate out of pocket for employees, and reduce the cost of healthcare for the employer. Makes you a superhero. Extraordinary abilities being used for good. That's all a superhero is.
So if you're watching on YouTube, you'll see that Nelson has a stick of dynamite behind him behind his right shoulder. So that is a drop the mic, boom moment, as he would say. So as we wrap up, Nelson, I appreciate you coming on. I'm very hopeful that anybody in the benefits insurance world who's listening every week, we appreciate you very much on my side. But I hope you do consider attending Ascend. Go to Nelson's website if you want more information. It is nextgenbenefits.com, nextgenbenefits.com. And for Ascend specifically, it is nextgenbenefits.com/Ascend, ASCEND. And you'll see a big superhero with, is that Nelson opening up your shirt, showing your pectoral muscles? Right. So you'll see that. Ascend 2022 is January 5th through the 8th at the Gaylord Hotel, Nashville, Tennessee. And I will be there, my friend. You know that. And if anybody wants to get in touch with Nelson, you can also reach him on LinkedIn. You can send him a direct message. You can email him. Nelson, any parting shots before I wrap us up?
Well, I want to say, look, for all of you who love this podcast, who love the energy that Eric brings, the people he introduces you to on this podcast, you can meet Eric in person, in the flesh, at Ascend. He'll be holding court, as he always does. And so you have a chance to meet him. I'd love to meet you myself at Ascend. But Eric, I just want to say, it has been such a pleasure watching you, because when we met, you were a rock star, but you were a rock star within that community of your carrier world.
Sure.
Right. You were like, one of the top guys. Everybody knew Eric Silverman. How do I know that? Because I knew a lot of people in that world, in that carrier, and it was like, oh yeah, Eric Silverman. He's like one of the best. He's one of the biggest. He's right. Everybody knew Eric, but to watch you go from being a rock star in your carrier and a little bit in the industry, but really in your carrier, to being just a total dominant figure in the broader culture. And you've done it through marketing. You've done it through content, marketing, relationship marketing. And it's just been so much fun to watch you go from a rock star in that small world to a rock star in the world. And I'm proud of you. I'm delighted to have played a small role in it. And just can't wait to see what the next level you take it to is.
Oh man, well, the feeling's mutual. I appreciate it. And I've learned so much from the mastermind. So for those that have no clue what we're talking about or have been on the fence or the edge, reach out to me if you want some advice or candor. I'll tell you my thoughts and opinions. And as always, listen, for anybody listening to us, wherever you stream podcasts, whether it be Apple or Spotify, Stitcher, Google, you name it, we're everywhere. For anybody watching on our YouTube channel, we appreciate it. Please be sure to subscribe and leave us a review. 5 stars would totally rock. And listen, I just show up and ask the questions as much as I can. And but it takes a village. I have a lot of people behind me that put this on because I am no tech wizard. I don't know how to do any of this. So for everybody behind the scenes at the Rockstars Rocking podcast, I'm Eric Silverman. That is Nelson Griswold, multi-time best-selling author and leader of the Next Gen Benefits Mastermind Partnership Network. And I hope to see you at Ascend. Everybody, thanks as always, and we'll see you next week. Make it a great day. Thanks, Nelson.
No, thanks, Eric. Take care. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks so much for tuning into this episode of the Rockstars Rocking podcast. If you haven't done so already, make sure you're subscribed to the show wherever you consume podcasts. And if you feel so inclined, please leave us a review. 5 stars would totally rock. Until next time, Rockstars, keep rocking.